Hey, this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD. When that title screen pops up and the music starts playing, you just know that you're about to get into something serious on here. It reminds me of the SOCOM Confrontation title screen. It gives you that sense of dread but also excitement at the same time. Of course, with Splinter Cell Blacklist, you're probably not going to want to throw a controller through the wall once you start playing. But you know what's disappointing about this game? Absolutely nothing. It is disappointing that it's releasing in the middle of so many huge games right now. This year in general has just been filled with blockbuster games, and this kind of falls right in line with the best of them. I read a few comments on the first impressions video that I did, and a few people stated they weren't that impressed with the graphics on here, and I'm going to have to disagree with that opinion. I felt the graphics were top notch, but if you're expecting PlayStation 4 graphics running on the PS3, then I guess you might be a little disappointed. As a side note, I think they did a great job with the text overlay in the environment, which has been done in a lot of other games, but this was the best use of it that I've seen so far. I did get a chance to test out the multiplayer today. I had a lot of fun with it because it's just so different than anything else out there. It ran great, I didn't see any lag, and from a technical standpoint, I couldn't find much to complain about with the online multiplayer, the single player experience, or even the split screen co-op. I didn't notice any slowdown or serious frame rate issues in any of the modes, although I did see some very light screen tearing in certain parts of the game, but it was barely noticeable. The sound effects, the music, the voice acting, and the lip syncing were all really well done. The computer AI was exceptional once it went into combat mode. There were a few times that I would kill somebody and a nearby enemy wouldn't take immediate notice of it, possibly because I was playing on normal difficulty. But when they went into alert status, it was on like Donkey Kong. They would flank me, take cover, call for reinforcements, and occasionally they'd throw a grenade in my pocket, and Sam Fisher cannot take a lot of hits. So in other words, they were completely unpredictable, which made battling them a truly awesome experience. In the older Splinter Cell titles, the action was generally very slow building, and while they were still entertaining, there were times that they could also be a bit boring. This title doesn't share that same problem. While it's still heavily based on stealth, strategy, and nifty James Bond style gadgets, it's got its fair share of action-filled moments. It puts a lot of pressure on you to remain hidden, but when everything hits the fan and the bullets start flying, you're still able to properly defend yourself. However, once you are cornered or you have a shotgun heavily armored enemy bearing down on you, then you're not going to last long. It perfectly balances the difficulty in not being too difficult, but yet it still provides a big enough challenge to keep you wanting to come back for more. It's easy to learn from your own mistakes and take different angles or approaches to taking down your prey. If taking down guards in a certain order doesn't work, then it's easy to switch up the order, go around, or test out a different weapon or gadget that'll get the job done. I was enjoying the gameplay so much that I really didn't care too much about the story. It's not that it was a bad story, but it's got that generic tone to it that plagues shooters to the point that I'd imagine a lot of people are just going to skip through it. You got your bad guys that are out to do bad stuff. You're there to stop them. Case closed. That's a wrap. It's a means to an end to send you to different locations throughout the world, and this game does a great job of giving you a lot of variety with the environments. But going back to the story, there were some very dramatic, very powerful moments in some of the cutscenes, but the gameplay is really what's going to propel this to the next level, which I was kind of surprised at how many rugged outdoor stages are found in this game. You're not going to be spending all your time walking down dark hallways and shooting out lights everywhere, but there are some tried and true indoor stages, so don't worry if you're a fan of the old games, you're not going to be disappointed in the level layouts or designs. I talked a little bit about how deep the customization is in the first impressions video that I did a few days ago. The gadgets and the fun toys that you get to use on here, like the crossbow with sleeping gas, that's the stuff that's going to set this game apart from other stealth titles like the Hitman series. You're not going to be picking up a can or a rock to distract an enemy. You have sticky cameras, noise makers, sticky EMPs, and a tri-rotor that can fly around the stage and take out a few enemies from above. You also have night vision and sonar, and every kind of grenade imaginable to equip yourself with, and when all your toys fail, you have some really solid firepower to help pile up the body count. You also don't feel restricted or limited on your ammo or the use of your gadgets because there's frequent resupplies in each stage, at least when playing on the normal setting there was. There's also a lot of freedom inside of every level. There's usually multiple entry points into each building and the general areas, so you can Batman your way around each stage to your heart's delight. And that freedom to roam the stage doesn't end there. You also get several choices of what stage you want to play in the main campaign. While you do have to progress the main story missions in order, you do get the multiple side missions that have different objectives to pick between, such as defending an area or clearing out a set number of enemies in a stage. There's one trophy for clearing this game without killing a single person. There's several difficulties to play on, and the game rewards you for however you want to play, which includes guns blazing through every stage. So when you add all that up together, it definitely increases the replay value. In the top 20 countdown video that I did at the end of last year for my top 20 favorite games of 2012, I chose Hitman Absolution as my second favorite game in that list. And Splinter Cell Blacklist is better than Hitman in a lot of different ways. So I probably don't need to spend the end of this review just raving about how great I think this game is. I'm sure a few stealth fuddy-duddies are going to complain about the action in the game being a bit too much, but if it looks fun to you and you enjoy third-person stealth shooters, you're going to love this game. The stealth in the game works really well, and if you're looking for a challenge, the harder difficulty is going to provide that to you. This is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and as always, thanks for stopping by.
We lost one, be tight in the next two. Intel almost compromised, eliminate the threat. Weapons free, step in the...